In Venezuela, the Metal Expo 2024 kicked off aimed at promoting the metallurgical industry as well as generating business opportunities for companies in the iron, steel, and aluminium sectors. The U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved a bill on Wednesday that would force TikTok to divest from its Chinese owner or get banned from the United States. And Nigeria's information minister said on Wednesday that the president has ordered security forces not to pay a ransom for the release of more than 250 school pupils seized by gunmen last week. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from TeleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Venezuela, the Metal Expo 2024 kicked off, aimed at promoting the metallurgical industry as well as generating business opportunities for companies in the iron, steel, and aluminium sectors. The Day of National and International Commercial Promotion opens the doors for the interaction between suppliers, clients, and investors from the potential of the companies of the Venezuelan Guyana Corporation. Likewise, the Metal Expo focuses its development on training and updating knowledge for professionals in the area, attracting investments and the internationalization of Venezuelan companies. In this sense, President Nicolás Maduro participated in the inauguration activity at the headquarters of the Ferrominera Orinoco located in Guyana City, where he reaffirmed Venezuela's sovereignty over Guyana, including Guyana Esequiba.
Our Guyana, from here, from the 40-degree heat of this wonderful region, liberated by Manuel Piar, the great Manuel Piar, together with the great Simon Bolivar. The liberating armies gave us all of free and sovereign Guyana. Our Guyana, including our Guyana Esquiva, which is Venezuelan, which is ours. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, Guyana Esquiva is ours.
The Attorney General of Venezuela, Tarek William Saab, announced on Wednesday new evidence of conspiracy of assassination against the Venezuelan state. The Venezuelan Attorney General informed that 2 suspects detained for conspiracy in the city of Maturin will be presented before the No. 4 Court against terrorism. Likewise, Tarek William Saab also detailed that the coup attempts carried out in different states of the country obeyed the same line of command. In this way, he called to maintain peace, stability and tranquility and indicated that everything is in full permanent intelligence work 24 hours and added that any threat made against the President of the Republic or any other high official should be taken very seriously.
There is evidence of a new conspiracy. I would say that there were when we said in January, calling the plot as a continuing conspiracy. We were not wrong, since step by step, if we go to 2018 with the assassination attempt with drones, the coup attempt in April 2019, the attempted mercenary incursion known as Operation Gideon in 2020, but brutally from May 2023 today. It is impressive how all this has been taking place from different parts of the country, and undoubtedly obey the same line of command.
In this context, the Attorney General mentioned the attempt by 2 members of the military in the city of Maturin to hijack a military vehicle and carry out a coup.
And similar actions to this are repeated, where nobody can be incredulous and think that they are isolated facts. No, they correspond independently of the years and months, the city of origin to the same plan. The plan consisted in recruiting 50 military personnel to take a tank and the weapons part of a military compound to carry out an insane coup d'etat attempt. I repeat, as I said at the beginning, one after another events and similar actions to this are repeated, where nobody can be incredulous and think that they are isolated facts. No, they correspond independently of the years and months, the city of origin to the same plan.
In Argentina, members of the federal coalition bloc in Congress did not achieve the required majority to meet and debate on the proposed new pension mobility. The bill proposes that the minimum income should cover the retirees' basic food basket. The Chamber of Deputies expects to have enough quorum to be able to debate this bill after the recent climatic contingencies due to the cancellation of flights and the need for assistance from the deputies of the interior of the country. With this bill, they expect that pensions will be updated on a monthly basis due to the inflationary levels brought about by the implementation of policies of the right-wing government. In Haiti, activists protest against the presidential council that will take power in the Caribbean nation after the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. These protests are taking place in front of the Canadian Embassy in Port-au-Prince, which together with the United States and France participated in the extraordinary meeting of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, in which the 9-member council was determined. The protest takes place in spite of the prohibition of demonstrations and the imposition of a curfew after a state of emergency was declared in all the Western Department. Ariel Henry announced his resignation on Monday in a context marked by the criminal gangs' control over the nation, which communicated that they will not accept any decision made abroad. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries took note of the International Energy Agency reaffirming the significance of oil security to energy transitions. In an official statement, OPEC said that to be encouraged by the IEA message and the reference to the continuing importance of oil to the world. The IEA said in its commentary, an enduring focus on oil security is a consequence of the continued need for oil to fuel cars, trucks, ships and aircrafts, as well as to reduce the petrochemical necessary to manufacture countless everyday items. The statement added that these messages have been strongly voiced by OPEC for many years and that the organization will continue to reiterate that the energy security, energy affordability and reducing emissions need to go hand in hand as well as we look to an all energy, all technologies and all people approach to energy transitions. OPEC has consistently reaffirmed its commitment to oil market stability and security of supply, including through its member holding spare capacity at their own cost in case of any unforeseen global oil supply disruptions. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back. Palestinian Minister of Social Development Ahmad Magdalani informed Wednesday that 70 orphan children from Rafah were temporarily evacuated to the SOS Children's Villages International in Bethlehem until the end of the current conflict. According to the minister, the transfer was carried out by the Ministries of Social Development and Interior in Ramallah in cooperation and coordination with the German government. Magdalani also informed that the Israeli occupation government tried to employ this step positively to its advantage in light of its killing of children and civilians. The minister expressed his thanks to the German government, represented by its foreign minister, for the efforts made to remove these children from the state of danger to which they were exposed in the Gaza Strip as a result of the continuing Israeli aggression. Palestinians in Syria are ready to help their compatriots in Gaza to live through the difficult situation caused by more than 5 months of Israeli attacks. Our correspondent in Syria, Hisham One knows with the story.
Although they are living Ramadan in the midst of an acute economic crisis resulting from the war and the blockade, the Palestinians living in Syria, like their Syrian brothers, are ready to offer everything they have to ease the suffering of their compatriots who are besieged in Gaza. This was stated by the residents of the Al Yarmouk Palestinian refugee camp south of Damascus in condemnation of the Israeli war of starvation, which has not ceased for more than 5 months against Gaza.
We are very saddened by the dire situation of our brothers in Gaza, and we are overwhelmed by what they are suffering as a result of war, starvation and displacement after having lost their homes, and we hope we can help them, and we pray to God to have mercy of them.
We demand that the world community, the United Nations, and all international humanitarian organizations assume their responsibilities and stop the genocidal Israeli war against our Palestinian people who are dying of hunger and thirst, in addition to the bombings, because they are exercising their right to defend their homeland and their holy places.
The arrival of the Holy Ramadan in Gaza coincides with the critical situation of more than 2.2 million inhabitants of this coastal enclave, victims of an Israeli war of extermination. A humanitarian crisis which, in view of the closure of the land crossings, some states are trying to alleviate with the airdroppings of humanitarian aid over the Strip, at a time when Washington proposed the construction of a temporary seaport, which the Palestinians denounce. Under the false excuse of facilitating the entry of humanitarian aid, it will serve to fulfill Tel Aviv's plan to move the Gazans by sea to Cyprus.
The temporary seaport proposed by Biden for the supposed entry of humanitarian aid in Gaza is nothing more than a trick that will not be able to fool us, because after failing to move the inhabitants of Gaza to Egypt, now they try to move them by sea under the false humanitarian excuse, and this is a plan that will not succeed.
This port is part of the Zionist plan to exterminate and forcibly displace the Palestinian people of Gaza to Europe and displace the Palestinians of the West Bank to Jordan and Egypt. But we assure you that this plan will fail and our Palestinian people will remain attached to their homeland in occupied Palestine.
The Israeli war also caused the total or partial destruction of more than 500 mosques in Gaza. This damage, added to the famine, massacres, displacement, and siege, turned Gaza into a ruined place, requiring dozens of years of work to rebuild it and restore the normal course of its life, including the customary celebrations of Ramadan, as practiced in the rest of the Muslim world.
TeleSUR, Oriente Medio.
The government of Spain continued to send military material to Israel, even though it had announced that after the beginning of the aggression against Gaza in October 2023, it has suspended this type of exchanges with Tel Aviv. According to data from the foreign trade portfolio, during the month of November and December 2023, defense material was sent from Madrid to an armament company in Israel. This military equipment is registered under the name of bomb stabilizers, and its estimates value was around $137,000. According to the Secretary of State for Commerce, the shipment corresponds to a license authorized prior to October 7th. However, the regulation and the control of trade in defense material indicates that these licenses could be revoked if there were reasonable indications to believe that this material could be used to disrupt the peace or increase tension.
The first thing that the government of Spain has to do is to recognize the truth, recognize that the state of Israel is committing genocide against the people of Palestine. And the second thing that the government of Spain has to do, Mr. Minister, is to comply with the law, your law. You know perfectly well that the Spanish arms trade law explicitly established that any transfer of defense material must be suspended or denied where there are rational indications that human rights may be violated. And I think you will agree with me, Mr. Minister, that 30,000 dead after, 2 million displaced people after, having thousands of children who are literally dying of hunger in the Gaza Strip, we have more than enough rational indications to start buying, selling, and transporting arms to Israel.
We have a final short break coming on, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean, as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with TeleSUR. Final short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. The U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved a bill on Wednesday that would force TikTok to divest from its Chinese owner or get banned from the United States. The lawmakers voted 352 in favor of the proposed law and 65 against, in a rare moment of bipartisan unity in politically divided Washington. The legislation threatens to be a major setback for the video sharing app, which has surged in popularity across the world while causing nervousness about its Chinese ownership and its alleged subservience to the Chinese Communist Party. The fate of the bill is uncertain in the Senate, where some key figures are apprehensive of making such a drastic move against an app that has 170 million U.S. users. The measure requires TikTok's parent company ByteDance to sell the app within 180 days or see it barred from the Apple and Google App Stores in the United States. In that context, TikTok content creators gathered outside the White House to protest against the bill.
I make book content on TikTok. I talk about books, I recommend books, I encourage people to read, and it is my full-time job. It means the world to me, the platform that I have, the income that I can create to support myself and my family.
I use TikTok just to push positivity for plus-size women and plus-size little girls. I dress them up in their prom dresses, get them looking beautiful. That's my whole movement on TikTok, and what it does is it bring in people from New York, California, Salt Lake City, Australia, UK, and they all come to the store just to share the love.
The Cameroonian government has described two political groups seeking to create opposition coalitions as illegal. A statement from the Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanga G on Tuesday named the Political Alliance for Change, APC, and the Alliance for Political Transition in Cameroon, ATP, as illegal political parties. The statement also expressed concern over pseudo-associations ahead of the 2025 presidential election. The minister recalled that only legally recognized political parties have the right to exercise political activities at the national level and ordered the ban on any demonstration associated with these associations. Kenyans on Wednesday welcomed a government decision to halt plans to deploy at least 1,000 police officers to Haiti following the unprecedented violence that erupted in the Caribbean nation. Kenya had agreed last October to lead a United Nations authorized international police force to Haiti, but the country's top court in January ruled this was unconstitutional, in part because of a lack of reciprocal agreements on such deployments between the two countries. Kenya's President William Ruto said that he and Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry had witnessed the signing of a reciprocal agreements between Kenya and Haiti on March 1st, clearing the path for the deployment. Under the plan, the United Nations-backed multinational police, led by Kenyan officers, were to help quell the gun violence that has long plagued Haiti. But violence escalated sharply from February 29th, with gunmen burning police stations, shutting down the main international airports, and storming the country's two largest prisons, freeing more than 4,000 inmates. Nigeria's information minister said on Wednesday that the president has ordered security forces not to pay a ransom for the release of more than 250 school pupils seized by gunmen last week. Relatives say the kidnappers have demanded a large payment for the return of the students abducted from their school, including a village in northwestern Kaduna State on Thursday. Criminal gangs often carry out mass kidnappings in northwest Nigeria, targeting schools, villages and highways. In the last 3 years, hundreds of students have been abducted. Almost all were released from ransom payments after weeks or months in captivity at bandit camps hidden in the forests. Kidnapped victims in Nigeria are often released following negotiations with the authorities, though officials deny ransom payments are made.
But government is not taking any excuses. The president has directed that security agencies must, as a matter of urgency, ensure that these children and all those who have been kidnapped are brought back in safety, and also in the process to ensure that not a dime is paid for ransom. Mr. President has said that this is an unacceptable situation. He is not going to, the government will not condone abductions or kidnappings or any kind of criminality in that direction.
We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net, and join us on social media as well: Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.